Joining us live to discuss the Mayor Adams case is Jeremy Rosenthal. He's a trial attorney and founding partner of Rosenthal, Kalabas and Therian. Thanks for joining us. Good morning. Hearing what Judge Dale Ho referred to the Adams case as a, quote, very unusual situation, what was he specifically meaning by that statement, and do you agree?
The people who are challenging this, who are filing the third party statements, are saying, look, the Justice Department is dismissing this case, sort of, but not really. What the Justice Department really wants to do here, so the allegation goes, is hold this over Eric Adams' head so long as he plays ball with the Trump administration. What they're asking is, they're saying, look, if you're saying that Eric Adams never should have been prosecuted, President Trump, how about a pardon? Or Department of Justice, you could dismiss this with what's called prejudice, meaning that it's over. Why would you hold this over his head like this unless you wanted to sort of muscle him into doing what you want? On the flip side of that, what you have in front of the judge is two parties. You have the government and you've got Eric Adams' own attorney who are both agreeing. So there's really the only dissenting person in the room, if anybody, is the judge. And both of those lawyers are trying to convince the judge to dismiss this, and they're correct. Dismissals are very routine. The trial judge can approve a dismissal or not, but the judge's role is very limited in what he can do from here. That part's also true.
So speaking of the judge's autonomy, does he have the power to continue the case, considering that the prosecutors don't want to pursue it?
He's got several options at his disposal. What he can do is he can just accept the motion and just dismiss the case, in which case Eric Adams, the case against him is dismissed for the time being. In theory, it can be brought again. That's the concern, is that there's an underlying tone of, so long as you agree with us on the political side, Mayor Adams, we won't bring this case back. Again, that being the concern. The judge can grant that motion. The judge can also say, you know what, I'm going to change this. I am going to accept this dismissal, but I am going to attach prejudice here so that Mayor Adams, you can never get prosecuted again. And that way, nobody's worried about a quid pro quo. Nobody's worried that you are being held here against your will, or that you're subject to any type of pressure. The third thing the judge can do is he can just deny it. But that leaves everybody in a really weird spot, because he can't force the Department of Justice to prosecute him. If you had a trial and the judge forced both parties into a trial, the Department of Justice just wouldn't try their case. They just wouldn't call any witnesses, and Mayor Adams would be acquitted by default, which again would result in the case being completely over. So you really have a limited range. I've heard suggestions of a special prosecutor being appointed. I don't know that the trial court has the power to do that. So the judge's options are pretty limited.
It seems like there's an elephant in the room in that respect, and it's hard to separate the political element to this case on top of what's in front of the judge. Is it improper for the DOJ to ask for the charges against Adams to be dropped so that he can better execute President Trump's immigration agenda?
Yeah, I think that has caused a really big firestorm at the Department of Justice. When you become a federal prosecutor, you pledge that you are not going to give fear or favor to anybody. And you cannot prosecute because of their political beliefs. And by extension, you cannot reward somebody for their political beliefs. And there have been, I think, at least 6 or 7 U.S. attorneys, assistant U.S. attorneys, who have resigned, some of whom have written absolutely scathing memoranda against the administration for this action, basically saying, look, you're doing this because of his views. If Mayor Adams ran a sanctuary city, you wouldn't dismiss this case. So you are rewarding him for his political beliefs. Now, the Justice Department's position is, well, no, he needs security clearances. He needs to be able to do this or that. Again, I think you put it best when you said that it sounds like there's an elephant in the room.
Yes, and it's hard to separate now what we're seeing with the congestion pricing as another element of this unfolding drama between New York and D.C. Really appreciate your analysis this morning. Jeremy Rosenthal, trial attorney and founding partner with Rosenthal, Calabas, and Therian. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Have a great morning.